Yeah, so last week it was a bit of a disaster. The weather was terrible, the wind was high, it was cold. Today's the warmest day we've had ever since we started the channel. It's not sunny, but it's about 18 Celsius. We've got a little spot out of the wind, so it's pretty comfortable, and hopefully we're going to catch some fish today and not lose a million lures like we did last week. There's no trees, so that's good too. We can't cast into trees. Here we go. All right, so we're going back with the Fire Tiger. Since I lost my last one last week, it is now residing in a tree at Kingston Mills in Kingston, Ontario. So we're going back again with this new leader because I lost my $10 leader. So this leader is worth about 50 cents. And we're going to see how this goes. Got a good feeling today. I actually got a bit of blue sky poking through here. Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned this in the intro, but we're on Lake Ontario today. Bass is in season as far as catch and release goes. You can't keep them, obviously, but we're not going to catch any lake trout here, I don't think, but maybe some carp. Oh!
I'm not sure if you could tell by the camera, but right here where just between Chris and I, Chris is over here, right between us, the bridge, the water does come out here pretty strong. There's a pretty strong current here, so I'm hoping if the current goes out here, maybe they're curling up in this area. There'll be a little bit less current. I don't know if it's a good spawning area, but certainly better than over here. Maybe even over here it might be decent to try in a couple minutes.
A little shallower, into the reeds maybe. I don't know. This might be too shallow. I don't see anything. I don't know. Maybe we try the Texas rig. Something that'll over here where it's deeper. People have been fishing here. Yeah.
Over here it's pretty shallow, and normally I'd say it's too shallow, but I'm not a great fisherman, and what I hear is fish often go into extremely shallow water for spawning. So this might be a perfect spot over here, for all I know. Let's give it a shot.
This is what we're going with.
Here's Chris over here. Spot, I think he has kind of toured around that shore just like I've been doing on this side. Okay, so we did the gear video a couple of videos ago, and then we did talk a little bit about the our new reels and rods in the last video, but I did at the same time mention I'd give you a little bit of an overview of what a bait caster is, and that's what I'm using right here. So, well, as I just cast out, Let me just give you a really quick rundown. The Baitcaster 101. For those of you that are familiar with a spinning reel, let's just look here. As you can see, the reel it goes this way, and it basically comes off the side of the reel. Whereas a baitcaster, this is the main difference. The spool itself is perpendicular to the rod, and it comes off straight like this. That's the main difference. Typically, when you're doing a spinning reel, you'd open the bail, you hold the line, and you cast like this. The way it works with a baitcaster is you press this button. When you press this button, the lure falls. I have it set pretty tight, so it's falling pretty slow at the moment, but that's how it works. So basically what you do is, instead of letting it fall, you press the button, put your thumb on there, and then you cast it. And at the tail end of your cast, you let go, and that's when the line goes. Similar to a spinning reel, you have a drag. Typically on a spinning reel, it's up here. The drag, there's 3 real tension knobs that you would use on a bait caster. I won't go into too much detail with them, but one is the drag. Works pretty much the same as the spinning reel, but that's this star here. This is the drag. The other 2 systems that they have, or 2 knobs for tension that they have on a bait caster. I don't think all of them have it. Some of them only have 1, but this one has 2, and a lot of them do. This knob here. This is what you call the spool tension knob. So this can get pretty loose in here. This whole spool, you can actually move it around and it'll click a little bit if it's loose. This just tightens that up a little bit. And then the third one is, there are different kinds of brakes, but this is the brake. So you have the drag system here, you have the spool tension, and then you have your brakes. Typically, the way to think of it is this knob here, the drag is really, you want to set that based on when you have a fish on, how easy it is for the fish to take that line off. The other 2 are really, on a bait caster, they're really specific to casting. So I won't go into too much detail, but I will just say, you have these set, and you would set, not necessarily the brakes, but you would set this one specific to the lure, because you want it to just fall slowly if you're a beginner like me. And essentially, if you're casting and you're getting backlash at the very start of your cast, you want to adjust the brakes. And if you're getting backlash at the very end of your cast, then that's when you want to adjust the tension, the spool tension. So that's pretty much it. That's the basics. Let's do a quick cast here. Again, you push this in, hold your thumb. As you're at the end of my release, I'm just going to let go of my thumb, and it goes out. That's it. Baitcaster 101. Now let's catch a fish. Actually, the one other thing I should mention is, why would you want a baitcaster instead of a spinning reel? A lot of guys like them just because it's a little bit more, you have a little bit more control. So let's say I threw this and I was heading towards a tree, I can immediately put my thumb on here and stop it. I know you can do that a little bit with a spinning reel if you try to grab it, but essentially that's you have a little bit more control, because you put your thumb on here as the line's going out. What a lot of guys do, and I can't do it, I'll try to do it, but they're good enough that when they cast it, it just skips like a rock along the top of the water. And if let's say I wanted to go over there, I could skip it along the water, and as soon as it was getting close to that shore, I'd have my thumb on there and stop it. So it's a little bit more control if you have a bait caster. That's the reasoning.
All right, don't get much here, so let's try the good old-fashioned Mepps. That's what we're gonna try. Used these when I was a kid, so let's give it a shot, because this one just wasn't doing much. So this is what we're going with now. The old tried and true Mepps 3. Haven't used one of these since I was very young, and we're gonna see if it works. Oh, it's not nearly as heavy. It's not getting nearly as far out there, which kind of sucks. I don't know, you want to try Collins Bay Pier? that. Try Collins Bay Pier just for the hell of it.
Yeah, we could.
See if it's windy, how windy it is. If it's too windy, we'd
call it, pack it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's do that.
There ain't much happening here.
No, that's for sure.
I had high hopes.
Hey folks, just doing a quick end of video voiceover here. As you just heard us mention in the video a couple of seconds ago, we planned on checking out the Collins Bay Pier, and we did, but after checking it out, we determined that it was way too windy to make it worth our while. So as a result, that's going to do it for today's video. If you want to keep tabs on our progress, subscribe to the channel and you'll easily find our new content, which we've been pretty good about delivering or publishing every week. So yeah, like I said, that's it for today. As always, we appreciate you watching. Thanks. On faith and on pride, I'm out of love, but I still gotta drive.